we all do better, when we all do better, always makes sense to me. The world is running, you gotta look out for number one. I'm going to be introduced, so I'm just going to talk for a minute. We got Charles Green, Barbara Sales, Julie Butel, Bob O'Brien, and Susan Newell. And you remember Steve Jones mentioned his mantra, that Charlie King song, our life is more than our work, and our work is more than our jobs? Well, we're going to sing that very song. And as you catch on to the melody, sing along with us on the refrain.
Now, why don't you give us your collective name?
One by one.
Actually, not all of them.
I know.
Most of them.
Program, and what I think is that there needs to be another applause for One by One,
Yeah.
because as it's excellent. So I want to invite Gerald Hoinaski. I have a Finnish name, which people get mystified, but it's very. You can go by the sound of the word Hoinaski. So CH is Hoi. Thank you, and Carlos Nieblock. Okay, the artwork that we're going look at right now is a story of destruction and art. Out of Darkness into Light is the name of the piece. Jerry was born in Hamtramck, across from his Catholic church and school. He entered School of Learning and became a parish priest during a period of dramatic change in the church, where a focus on social justice became extremely important in the late 50s, 60s, and that whole period of time, where there was the issue of the Vietnam War and the morality of that war. Secondly, the issue of racial equality within our country and the demonstrations and the struggle for civil rights. Jerry saw that as the first phase of his education. It was into the world and the role he could play in the world as a priest. The second stage of his entering the School of Family was entering the School of Family. He was married for 39 years. They adopted 2 girls from Korea. The entire family pursued their peace activism through membership in Pax Christi. And with the death of his wife, Pat, Jerry continued enjoying the world through the eyes of grandchildren and the joy of friendships, his continuing love for Pat, and a life well lived. I'm very, very honored to be able to bring Jerry to you. Carlos was the owner of CAN Art Hardworks in Detroit, which is down by Eastern Market, which I just found out. And he learned metalworking in Germany from the skills of a Catholic monk. As a black person in a majority white country, experienced some of the post-war Nazi assumptions of racial superiority, assumptions that still remain among some people that our responsibility to take on. And he moved to Detroit to share his metalworking skills with the black community and its African heritage. Carlos has preserved metalwork from West Africa to expose Detroiters, especially children of the city, to the beauty of African art. Carlos has worked on restoring the artistry of the past at the Fox Theater, the Fisher Building, and the Spirit of Detroit. Now, how all of this leads to a discussion about a German gun that was used by Hitler to commit suicide, I think it's sort of fascinating. So, Jerry and Carlos, thank you very much for coming.
I have a story to tell because, not because I only want it, but it's got to be told. My dad, before he died, was a World War II veteran, bringing home that Walther weapon, and he only showed it to me once. But before he died, he wanted me to take it from his safe, because he didn't want, after he died, anybody to find it. And I had it in my safe. He only spoke about that the one time, and not with honor or anything, but it was a memorial he took back like most of the military did. And
I just want to get you talking to the mic a little bit. Let's see.
so I followed his wishes, and I was his estate manager, so I thought I was going to give this gun, sell it, and then distribute the benefits of that. So I went back about 3 times. The 3rd time I went and held that gun, something happened. It was so heavy. And since my dad, didn't honor this thing as something special, I says, well, I'm going to look into it. But as I was looking into that, its value, I found a lot of people were interested in this gun. I had an offer of $400, and then looking it up online, of $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, and all of a sudden it hit me. Because when I was holding that gun, I asked the question, I said, I wonder how many people were killed by this gun. And wham, that was it. And so I decided not to do anything with it, except to destroy it. So I went to the garage with a hammer, with a screwdriver, and I started pounding away, pounding away, pounding away. It took me 2 hours, and it had all these pieces. And what am I going to do with the pieces? Well, I kept it for a while, But then as I was doing this, it was at the time of the Virginia march, and that solidified it, because what I saw was that this gun was only valuable because it was a German Nazi gun. So a lot of people wanted it, not because it was a nice, good gun that they could use. And so I says, I cannot be complicit with that. It's simply allowing people to justify that gun. And then that happened again when I was watching this week with the New March in Virginia, that there was a British person asking some of these people with their guns, and these were in their uniforms, and with a real stoic kind of demeanor, two others standing beside them, and it struck me that the barrier between that reporter and them was the guns. How do you talk to a man with a gun? And that cinched it. But before that, we already had talked to Carlos about what do we do with these pieces? Am I going to put them into recycle? Doesn't make sense. So there were parishioners of ours, Pat and John Bosch, who decided to have, who recommended Carlos because he did some work for them. So that's my story, you know, and it sticks with me that I have to still keep looking into that story. And so we'll give you the second half of the story, and that's Carlos, to whom I took the pieces.
All right, so I got to meet Jerry here over Pat Bosch, and we are together in the UNESCO City Design Organization that tried to exchange with 17 cities on a global level and to see which common problems we have and which common solutions. And when Pat recommended Jerry to me, he came to my place and he had a bag, a suitcase actually, and in the suitcase there was those many components of the gun that was destroyed. He had some pictures of his dad. When I saw all the pictures and the map where your dad was, right, and where he actually got the gun, and my intensive knowledge of German and World War II background, and my own grandfather is a World War II submarine mechanic, and my stepfather, World War II a soldier, and you know, me be brought up in the post-war of Germany, where all the Germans undergone some sort of atonement, some sort of reinventing themselves, some sort of rebuilding the entire nation and themselves. And everything that is thought before, it was not valuable anymore. And here you have to reduce it to the core, down to where's it all started, where did we gone wrong, and what we implicate into the future. One thing was the skilled trades that made Germany great are the same skilled trades that built this Paris of North America, Detroit. The same skilled trades made Detroit the richest city in the entire United States. That's what attracted me to here. Everywhere I go, I see the splendor of the Industrial Revolution, the wealth of handmade things, the same skilled trades that I was taught in Germany as a little boy. So America was pretty attractive to me, and I am a multicultural person. My dad himself was a GI soldier from Detroit, and he was black. And so I kind of was in the search of my own identity, on my own cultural heritage. I know everything from Germany. I recently did a DNA test. I'm 40% from the west coast of Africa and 57% from East Prussia and Lower Saxony. And I have relatives there right now. It helped me to find my own economy in Detroit, to understand Detroit, to learn and love Detroit, to understand this is the place of skilled trades. Here was people created their own luck and happiness with the abilities and with their hands' work. And the evidence is there in all of the historical districts and the Foxader, Fisher Building, and all of these things that are a testament of the Great Revolution. And all of those things are not 3D printed or so on. They're made by hand by somebody who get paid for his skilled work. And so there was a great struggle and, building this business, and it was great for a while. And after I did the things downtown, I discovered new economies in Grosse Pointe and Bloomfield that even made it more prosperous. And then the economy went down and nobody wanted ornamental metalwork anymore. And that was really the first thing that's going to be scrapped, some excess ornamental work on the building. Who wants that? But I had those skilled trades of metalwork, of forming metalwork, of machining metalwork, of beating metalwork into specifications. If you come to me, want to have something done, I can do it. I have the skilled trades. And with this flat market and nobody wanted anything, I thought green energy. That's got to be the future. So green energy, I did this windmill invention thing. Somebody may know, my place is on Eastern Market, on Wilkins Street. And the last block on Wilkins, there's things spinning around. I invented those. And that came all out of what we're going to do now with the stuff that we have available. So I got into something called upcycling, which is taking advantage of the surplus and the resources that we already have. Then that's how I got into this UNESCO City of Design thing, but to showcase Detroit, to showcase what surplus coming out of a city like Detroit. How do you? Yes.
Carlos, I
This is why I was recommended to him.
One of the things that we need are more dreamers and people that think beyond the ordinary day-to-day we got to get through. Carlos is obviously a dreamer. We're also very proud that he belongs to Detroit and he belongs to the United States, and that together we can find some reality and footing in those dreams. And one of the things I want to do, Carlos, is that every time we get a quilt from Carol, we decide somebody should get it as a thank you for who you are, as a thank you. I find it a phenomenal thing for people to be able to, sometimes you feel like you're in the dark and you know that you can't find your way through because you can't find the doorknob to get out. People who manage to find that doorknob and move us forward are geniuses. So I thank you very much. We'd like to now have one by one sing a song that matters a great deal in terms of how our world should be, and I hope becomes. And I think the two, Jerry and Carlos, both brought to home, we do not have to shoot and kill each other. We do not have to have war. There are other ways of living. And I salute the gallery for making that their theme.
This is my song, a song of my heart is. Here are my hopes, my dreams, my holy shrine. But other hearts in other lands are beating with hopes and dreams as true and high as mine. My country's skies are bluer than the ocean, and sunlight beams on clover leaf and pine. But other lands have sunlight too, and clover, and skies are everywhere as blue as mine. Oh, hear my song, O God of all the nations, a song of peace for their lands and for mine.
And I think who I want to present now is also going to be more than worth your while, and that is Yasmin Rukla. Yasmin is Lebanese-American teaching artist and writer exploring the points of commonality and alienation of Arab-American Muslim identity in the U.S. and elsewhere. And how many of you remember immigrant parents in terms of the Europeans? How many? Yeah. Well, you count too, Chris. Yeah. Because the thing is, I remember my parents were still struggling with where their person belonged, because they were split between two countries. I'm the generation that was totally Americanized, and I think that whole issue of who am I, where do I belong, and who offers me a future, and how do I offer that place a future, is one that all immigrants have faced at some point. So thank you very much, Jessie, for coming.
Hello, thank you guys so much for having me at this lovely event. I've been so inspired by everybody up here and all the work everybody puts into making the world the way it deserves to be. While I was sitting down, I was thinking about the meaning of freedom in the wake of capitalism, and Angela Davis is one of my inspirations, and she wrote, "We know the road to freedom is stalked by death." It's very sad, the things that we have to go through in this oppressive system. And I wrote, between storm clouds of fascism and privatization, I've been told too many times about people like us that we don't understand patriotism, and that offends me because I feel like we understand what patriotism really means. So I wrote this poem called "An Arab American Sits for the National Anthem." After, I obviously sit for the national anthem, but a lot of people don't, that's totally fine. But it's really interesting the kind of reactions you get when you don't stand for the national anthem. We've seen with Colin Kaepernick, we've seen with all these blacklistings of people being free in their speech, in which this country affords us. So I wrote this poem, and I'll read it for you guys. Thank you so much. An Arab sits for the national anthem. Tragedy is comedy's conjoined twin. I am a country that grips cultures with hands around the throat, throttling pen, zooming drone, fingernails speckled with cool blue and infrared. The poet is tragic, tight-fisted, laughing living language into empty eclectus nest. Plato's fatwa was to banish the poet from the Republic, and then it almost slipped the agent's mind, like pistachio shells, that no birds reside in precinct. They're gone elsewhere with no sour pollution sizzle in its wires, nor noxious severed promise of homeland security. A story of raven boy omitted holdings of my wells of ink. And in my womb, the bullet case protects the speech I don't feel free in saying. Thank you guys so much.
Okay, we've probably got about, as Kay was saying, a couple more people to speak, and I guess this is my time to say a little something now. I was thinking in terms of, because I've seen a lot of the, I grew up during the days when people used to play the bongos and congos and things like that, but I used to love to hear the response and the applause that a lot of times they got. This finger snapping, the tapping of their knees. So, I mean, those were things that I really, really appreciated. But because I'm a 60s person, I grew up looking at Maynard G. Krebs and Dobie Gillis, and some of you may be able to relate to some of that. But, I thought about in terms of say just from what some of the other poets and some of the other, spoken words individuals were giving. And I thought about something that I wanted to say in a poem that I had wrote, and it's entitled Deep Thoughts. Something I have to do is I do like my father always said, put his cheaters on. So. Deep thoughts just keep hitting my head, being not just a thinker, but a man of action. Each thought took me on a deeper level of deeper thoughts that state for every action there's an equal and opposite reaction. But now my action asks me, how can I help my people to open their eyes, to see it's beyond just me or thee? It's now up to we to show them how we can develop unity. How can I help a people that has deep roots in oppression, regression, depression, riding on its backs, causing us to turn to the chills, the spills, and the pills, to accept the lies that our government supplies, that have taken our revolutionaries from handcuffs and chains and put us now into twist ties? What course of action can I birth from them? Back again, I ponder with my deep thoughts. As I stand here and send my prayers into the heavenly skies, I gather from others of us that we are a team without leaders, teaming with receivers and believers, banning those who are disbelievers. Where are our contenders? All I see are pretenders. Now, let me say, this is the deal. No one I feel is steering the wheel. Our young men thrown into jails just for being black in a social climate that ails them and fails them. Our young women thrown to the trash, raising children in fatherless households that require cash. But in the minds of the fathers, do they pay child support or do they dash? On my knees, oh my God, to him I lift my praise up. But when I raise up, will us raise up from out of the ashes and stay up? Just like Jesus Christ, who has died and been reborn. His clothes look new where they were once tattered and torn. He arose in his words to lead the people in the nation. His execution raised the conclusion his death was not a vacation. Just like the phoenix bird who rose from the flames into space, the fire that killed it was still its birthing place. If I arise, how do I bring us up? It saddens me. We did not hear our elders' plea of a world whose demise could come from one more powerful than we. Now I stand here, just me, looking at us, thinking of we, and I go back into my deep thoughts. What about my future, our future, my seed, your seed, the future of our seed, minds that need to feed, the future for my children? Where is our future? It has to rest in we, I'm sure. How can I be that us example for the we of our future, be a man of action, taking my thoughts and changing them into action? As I stand here in deep thoughts, I am now knowing that I am a man of action. From us, I need just some traction. As I stand here in deep thoughts, I know I'm a man of action, waiting for the plan of plans to fall together. Listen, in our minds, I thought I heard a stir. But regardless, I remain a man of deep thoughts. It is now up to we to show unity. In my deep thoughts, I have given you my action. Now I stand here right now and I wait. The us's and the we's, to me, their reaction. Okay. Now we've got the Motown water rights. The Flowtown Review, correct? Okay. And let me see, we have an intro?
Yeah.
The main intro is that the best music is the music that goes around with action, change, and a commitment to justice. The water rights struggle has been a long one. There continue to be many, many, many families without water, which is essential to life. And what the Flowtown Review has done is to take Motown, put words to it, talk about the importance of that issue, and we really appreciate you guys being here.
Stop shutting water off before you kill us all. Stop shutting water off before you kill us all.
Turn the taps back on.
Turn the taps back on.
Turn the taps back on.
Turn the taps back on. We've tried so hard to be patient, hoping you'll stop this abomination. But each day when we reach for the toothbrush, the taps are dry and we can't even flush. So next time before you leave us right, remember people could die.
Turn the taps back on.
Turn the taps back
Do it with us. Turn the taps back on.
Turn the taps back on. Stop shutting water off before you kill us all. Stop shutting water off before you kill us all.
Turn the taps.
Turn the taps back on. Turn the taps back on.
What?
Turn the taps back on. Turn the taps back on. We know of your orchestrated plans to take the water out of people's hands. But each time you muster the nerve to screw the citizens you're supposed to serve. So next time before you leave us dry, remember people could die. Turn the taps back on. 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 Stop. Nothing you can say can make us pay for bottled water. Water. No corporate guy can never make us buy his water. 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 He may be a big shot billionaire, but when it comes to saying no thanks, we're there. There's not a plan today that could make us pay for bottled water. As a matter of opinion, bottled water sucks. It's the corporate way of making big bucks. As a matter of fact, to be exact, we're in the struggle to take water back. Every money-making scheme makes us want to scream, don't buy it, don't buy it. We're making lots of noise against the corporate ploys, don't try it, try it, try it. We may not be the best show in town. But when it comes to saving water, we're down. There's not a plan today that will make them take away our water. There's not a plan today that will let them take away our water. One time. There's not a plan today that will let them take away our water. You and I must make a pact. We must get our water back. When water is threatened, we'll be there. We'll join hands in solidarity, working for affordability. When water is threatened, we'll be there. We'll be there to organize with a message that is clear. Work for water rights around here. We'll be there with a voice that's strong. We'll work with heart. We'll keep holding on. Let us turn our tears to joy and laughter. Water for all is what we're after. When water is threatened, we'll be there. Sing it with us, we'll be there. We'll be there. Everybody. We'll be there. When water is threatened, we'll be there. Sing it for Duggan, sing it for Flint, sing it for Shutoffs. We'll be there. We'll be there. We'll be there. When water is threatened, we'll be
Okay, let's see. Water love?
Water love, water love, ooh, water love. Instead of letting them sleep on, or letting agribusiness dump, we're here to organize and stand up to these corporate guys. Water love, water love, we're here to show some water love. When water's under harsh attack, we'll fight to take our water back. United like we need to be. Water solidarity, we need to stand for water rights. Joining all these water fights. Don't let our water go. Join the fight, get in the flow. Don't let our water go. Join the fight, get in the flow. Don't let
Okay, we're almost winding down. We've got Dale Petty, correct? Just coming up. And Dale Petty he's been enjoying tropical music since 1968, when he first discovered his older sister's 3-chord songbooks with Bob Dylan, Peter, Paul, and Mary, and he began the 3 chords on the guitar, added more chords, new instruments, and shared his talent with people of all ages, including those committed to ensuring a more peaceful, inclusive, the print was kind of not quite right on it. Peaceful, inclusive, common good democracy. And at the same time having fun, singing and dancing together. Let's give a round of applause for Bill Beck.
So this song is inspired by a friend of mine named Micah, and he's one of the real inspirations of my life. He came into this world with a lot of struggle, barely made it. Took him a long time to develop language, developed his own sign language in the process. And one of there's a new movie out called Intelligent Lives that I encourage you to find and view, but it's all about really recognizing how intelligent people are in lots of different ways. And we can sometimes look at somebody and say, well, they're retarded or they're intellectually, they're delayed development or intellectually deficient in some way. What's the word I'm looking for?
Disabled.
Yeah, disabled.
Challenge.
But he's not disabled at all from very early age. He would hear Martin Luther King's voice on the radio or on a tape or something, and immediately it would just grab him. And then he started doing Rosa Parks plays with my wife Janine in preschool, and Rosa Parks became his hero. And then Mandela, the struggle to free Mandela, came up, and Mandela became his hero. So this is for Micah, who's my hero. The chorus goes like this. Can you hear the dulcimer one more time?
Oh yeah.
You are strong like Mandela. You are brave like Rosa. Dream with the Martin. And to keep us keeping on. Try that with me. Strong like Mandela. You are strong like Mandela. You are brave like Rosa. You dream with the Martin. And you keep us keeping on. Sounds good. You came into this world. It was a great day. Struggling. There was trouble in the world from here to San Salvador. Oh, you came into our lives, it was a heyday. But your struggle for life is something that we all share. You are strong like Mandela. You are brave like Rosa. You dream with Martin. And you keep us keeping on. Oh, you came into this world, it was a great place. Oh, the cries and whispers, they echoed down the halls. Oh, you came into this world, you had a great heart. Struggle for life is something that we all share. You are strong like Mandela, brave like Rosa. You dream with Martin, and you keep us keeping on. Sometimes you dream among us, and sometimes you go away. We ache to know the visions behind your eyes. You dream a dream of freedom for the child of Soweto. Help us keep our eyes fixed on the prize. You are strong like Mandela. You are brave like Rosa. You dream with Martin, and you keep us keeping on. Oh, you draw your strength from Mama when she says go on and cry. And when she speaks out so for you, so strong and clear. And you draw your strength from Papa, lying gentle by your side. And when he shouts out justice now for all to hear. You are strong like Mandela. You are brave like Rosa. Oh, you dream like Martin. And you keep us keeping on. Pull us all Struggles need the help of every hand, but the pain we share together gives us hope and gives us heart. Keep the dream alive in every land. You are strong like Mandela, you are brave like Rosa, you dream with Martin, and you keep us keeping on. We are strong like Mandela, we are brave like Rosa, we dream with Martin, and we keep us keeping on.
We've got one single rose coming back up for the first time. Come on, we can do better than that. Let's give her a nice round of applause. There we go. We want to raise the level. We want to raise the roof of this place now.
How many people in the room love themselves? I wrote this piece the first time I actually began to love myself. So if you don't love yourself, how do you expect anyone else will? I held myself captive for years. Trapped within darkness, this little light of mine didn't shine. My voice hushed within personal insecurities passed down by society. Daddy Longlegs blessed me with a stature considered intimidating. Thicknesses of these lips and hips are frequently frowned upon. Consistently defending the beautiful brown I was born with, cognac hues fashioned as a safeguard remain on the front line for those who take offense. Above average intellect, terrified below average wit. Dumb and Dumber knocked my block off for the last time, then I realized I've got to get comfortable living in the skin I'm in. I can only be me. I had to step outside the box to live in color. Proud and out loud. No longer slave to shade thrown by societal suggestions. No more wallowing in silence. My pen became my siren and sword. I pushed poems like weight. Writing past pain on paper which covered my will, which was hard as rock. Cut through all the mess with scissors before rock cried out, it's time to escape. Keys used in the prison break left indentations on my hands before being released from its death grip. The lone abductor, the alleys of my mind. Blinded by a so-called flawless culture, I met myself for the very first time. The first time ever I saw my face. There I was, tall, dark, and handsome. Smart, thicker than a snicker. Finally, I fell in love with me. Physical attributes may permit descending gazes towards those threatened by altitude. I vow to encourage my people because the only time you should look down on a man is when you're picking him up. Overweight lovers are frequently shunned by jealous flatbacks who pay for butt shots and lip lifts. I don't think they're ready for this jelly. It's party time and celebration of life, so let's jam. The skin color is a blessing, deceptively labeled curse. Ties will one day return to an era when we were Adam and Eve, kings and queens, rulers of peaceful civilizations. Knick-knack, paddywhack, give us back our bones. Let haters hate while naysayers negate. You control your fate. Yeah. Thank your old self for bringing you through. Be content with who you are. Strive for better to ensure you'll become someone you can tolerate the rest of your days. Open your eyes. Look in the mirror. Love on your reflection. If you can't do that, do you expect anyone else will? If you've never appreciated you, the next time you actually see yourself, I hope it will be the first time ever you saw your face, your face, your Thank you.
First words that's coming out of my mouth right now is Roberta Flack. Man, that was great. Let's give her another. Come on now, let's raise the level up. Let's raise it up. We want Roberta Flack to hear her saying this. That was great. That was great. And then plus we got the little chimes that go on the top of that. I'm like, I didn't know we had to do that part as well. Okay, looks like we're almost about to wrap up now. And we're going to have the members of One by One to come back up and sing us another song. Let's give them a round of applause.
I think he chose this to be the last song, partly because of the title, and which is also the chorus. I Hear Them All is very fitting after what we've been exposed to today and what we participated in. So this would be a great chorus for you. You guys are terrific singers, and it's like the only words in the chorus are, I hear them all. So we didn't write this. Old Crow Medicine Show, a contemporary bluegrass group, wrote this. I hear the crying of the hungry in the desert where they're wandering. Hear them crying out for heaven's own benevolence upon them. Hear destructive power prevailing. I hear fools falsely hailing to the crooked wits of tyrants when they call. I hear them all, I hear them all, I hear them all. I hear the sound of tearing pages and the roar of burning paper. All the crimes of acquisition turn to air and ash and vapor, and the rattle of the shackle far beyond emancipators, and the loneliest together in their stalls. I hear them all, I hear them all, I hear them all. So while you sit and whistle Dixie with your money and your power, I can hear the flowers growing in the rubble of the tower. I hear leaders quit their lying, I hear babies quit their crying, I hear soldiers quit their dying, one and all. I hear them all, I hear them all, I hear them all. I hear the tender words from Zion, I hear Noah's waterfall, hear the gentle Lamb of Judah sleeping at the feet of Buddha, and the prophets from Elijah to the old Paiute Wavoka take their places at the table when they're called. I hear them all, I hear them all, I hear them all. I hear them all, I hear them all, I
I hear